appointed by Kofi Annan. And it was known at the instigation of the experiment that everything that was being done by an Irish public health institution was completely criminal and against the law. Nonetheless, they were going to press ahead, but that we had some opportunity to change things in the future should certain official justice processes be brought into enforcement. And nearly 5 years later, that hasn't happened. And that's 5 years of an assault where there have been so many threats, so many obstructions, so many instances of negligence, plain refusals to help, and an overt public display of witness intimidation, actually the promotion of witness intimidation by certain military intelligence services and Irish terrorist networks linked to central regime government in Ireland. It is not acceptable. It is not acceptable in the slightest. But I hope that a video like this will help the Irish people and international people understand how we move forward and have a conversation which we really need to have in our society about why we have tolerated such brutal violence and contempt of justice itself. You see, in a society, it is the architecture of justice that is one of the most important things, because that is the only way that the social contract can manifest itself. It's executive justice. So that means when crimes are proven and official complaints are made, there are supposed to be obligations upon the guilty. But if those obligations are not enforced, if instead the promotion of a social-wide campaign of isolation against a witness or a victim, if that is seen to be in place, you are simply in overt opposition to society itself. You've declared yourself to be a danger to society. So one of the things that this military court has been able to do is demonstrate with a very simple logic and a very straightforward reasoning that everyone on the fool's game and everyone affecting the negligence, that is people in official justice services not doing their job or not being able to bring a guilty party to the table as an offender in the light of law with sanction. Because without sanction, the complete architecture of justice is missing. And we have a society where social contract is disintegrating, and where moral norms are simply not visible, because the most immoral and offensive behaviour to civilization itself, that is the mutual cooperation of individuals towards a sustainable future. If you can't be part of that, the law has rights to reconstruct society around you to be safer. You lose rights to property. You lose certain employment rights. You might need to spend time in jail. You most certainly will be fined. And we have lodged a case, and this figure is no joke. There was damages of 666 million sought from criminals in the Irish regime and throughout Europe. There are international guilty parties as well outside of Europe and Ireland, but that figure is no joke. But in comparison to the fictional aid agencies that stage poverty shows that are actually actors who traffic children in developing countries and try to divert proper aid and investment money into human trafficking networks, into human slavery. A figure of 666 million euros is actually little to ask for. And that will form the basis for a true global development fund that actually serves the United Nations peace and prosperity. And so that's the goal that this military court is moving forward with, in exposing the international corruption and behind human slavery regimes that are still affecting conscious devastation with criminal intent now across Africa. And we have heard of these campaigns throughout the world. They will not be tolerated. When you evidence yourself on the fool's game, it's very easy to do, as hundreds around the streets here have shown themselves doing, as hundreds in Ireland did. And if you show yourself to be that opposed to basic public morals and civilization, we can't sanction you. You place yourself in a situation of war. So that we will move out of this covert war nearly 5 years later, an application having already been made to the Irish High Court, who refused to identify me, and my association with that application, even though it was plain on paper what that case was about. We don't have to talk about the Time movie, but we are going to. And we're not going to discuss games on people's bodies unless it's discussion of someone being prosecuted for human torture. We're going to have some civility and respect in 2019 as the realities of advanced space programs come to play internationally. It will become more apparent on the political scenes. It already has. Thank you.